In a quiet corner of the galaxy, far beyond the reach of human telescopes and curiosity, an alien scout ship drifted silently through the endless void of space. The crew aboard it were not warriors or conquerors, but observers, beings with translucent skin that shimmered faintly in the dim light of their control panels. Their large luminous eyes glowed softly as they monitored data streaming across holographic displays. These creatures had been sent on a routine mission to catalog life forms on distant planets. It was a job they had done countless times before, visiting worlds filled with strange plants, bizarre animals, and occasionally primitive civilizations. But today their scanners had picked up something unusual, a small blue-green planet called Earth, located in Sector 247C. At first glance, Earth seemed unremarkable. Its surface teemed with carbon-based life forms who communicated using sound waves and built structures from metal and stone. They appeared to be at a technological stage far behind most other species in the galaxy. Primitive rockets occasionally launched into orbit, but nothing suggested these humans posed any real threat. Still, there was something odd about this world, something the aliens couldn't quite put their finger on. Energy readings pulsed erratically across certain regions of the planet's surface, hinting at activity far more advanced than what their initial scans indicated. Curiosity piqued, the aliens decided to investigate further. As the scout ship descended into orbit around Earth, its sensors began picking up even stranger anomalies. Massive energy signatures flared unpredictably, concentrated in areas where no visible technology existed. At first, the crew dismissed it as natural phenomena, perhaps geological activity or solar interference. But then, without warning, something extraordinary happened. The sky above Earth split open like fabric, torn by unseen hands. From the rift emerged colossal star destroyers, ships so massive they blocked out entire continents below. These vessels gleamed with polished steel and shimmered under shields powerful enough to repel asteroid impacts. What terrified the aliens most wasn't just the size of these ships. It was the insignia emblazoned on their hulls, a symbol none of them recognized, yet one that radiated authority and power. The sight left the alien crew paralyzed with fear. Who were these newcomers, and why had they chosen this moment to reveal themselves? The scout ship immediately transmitted a distress signal back to its homeworld, describing what it had witnessed. Within moments, fleets of warships mobilized, preparing for an invasion force should diplomacy fail. Back on Earth, however, no one noticed the dramatic unveiling above them. Humans went about their daily lives completely unaware of the cosmic drama unfolding overhead. Cars honked impatiently in traffic jams, children played in parks, and office workers sipped coffee while staring blankly at computer screens. Meanwhile, the mysterious fleet remained stationary, broadcasting a single message across all frequencies. "We are here." No explanation followed, only silence. Panic spread among the aliens watching from afar. Were these new arrivals allies, enemies, or something else entirely? The unknown nature of the situation made it impossible to determine whether Earth itself was responsible for summoning such immense power, or if the planet was simply caught in the crossfire of some larger galactic conflict. One thing was clear. Whoever controlled those star destroyers possessed technology far beyond anything the aliens had ever encountered. Even their most advanced weapon systems would be useless against such overwhelming force. For hours, the alien crew debated their next move. Should they retreat quietly and report back to their superiors, or attempt contact, risking exposure to beings vastly superior to themselves? Back on Earth, governments scrambled to decipher the cryptic transmission. Military leaders convened emergency meetings, while scientists worked tirelessly to analyze the energy signatures emanating from the hovering ships. Some believed making contact would invite destruction, while others argued ignorance might provoke even greater danger. Conspiracy theories ran rampant online, with social media platforms exploding with speculation about alien invasions, government cover-ups, and doomsday scenarios. Yet amidst the chaos, no one could explain why the star destroyers had appeared, or what their intentions might be. Days turned into weeks, and still, the star destroyers loomed ominously over Earth. People grew accustomed to seeing them in the sky, though unease lingered beneath the surface. Schools canceled outdoor activities due to concerns about potential fallout, and religious groups held prayer vigils, interpreting the event as either divine intervention or apocalyptic prophecy. Despite the mounting tension, life continued. Markets opened, families gathered for meals, and lovers whispered secrets under the shadow of the massive ships. Humanity's resilience shone through, even in the face of uncertainty. Then came the breakthrough. A young astrophysicist named Dr. Elena Torres discovered that the language used in the broadcast matched ancient symbols, found carved into stones buried deep beneath Egyptian sands thousands of years ago. Could it be possible that Earth had connections to extraterrestrial civilizations long before recorded history? Using this knowledge, she crafted a response encoded in the same archaic script, hoping it would act as both greeting and plea for peace. Her team transmitted the message into space, holding their breath as they awaited a reply. When the response finally arrived, it stunned everyone, not because of hostility, but because of familiarity. The voice speaking through the transmission identified itself as Guardians, protectors appointed millennia ago when Earth faced extinction-level threats. Over time, humanity had forgotten their existence, focusing instead on survival and progress. Now, sensing renewed dangers lurking beyond the stars, the Guardians returned to safeguard their forgotten charge. As proof of goodwill, they offered technology capable of shielding Earth from any external attack. In return, they asked only one thing: unity. For centuries, humanity had fought amongst itself, dividing resources and ideologies until cooperation felt impossible. Yet now, faced with forces far greater than themselves, people began to see past borders and beliefs. Slowly but surely, nations set aside differences, working together toward a common goal. Meanwhile, the terrified aliens observing from afar couldn't comprehend what they saw next. Instead of retaliation or conquest, the Star Destroyers opened portals allowing representatives from various countries to board. Inside, humans marveled at wonders beyond imagination, technology light years ahead of anything they possessed. And yet, despite such advancements, the Guardians treated each visitor with respect, emphasizing partnership over dominance. Word reached the alien fleet, sparking debates among its leaders. Should they retreat quietly, avoiding conflict altogether, or attempt communication, risking exposure to beings vastly superior to themselves? Ultimately, curiosity won out. An envoy was dispatched, cautiously approaching one of the smaller Guardian vessels orbiting Earth. To everyone's surprise, the meeting ended peacefully. The aliens explained their initial fear stemmed from ignorance. They hadn't known Earth, held ties to such formidable protectors. In turn, the Guardians reassured them there was no need for alarm unless aggression occurred. This encounter marked a turning point, not just for Earth, but for countless worlds across the cosmos. News of Earth's newfound alliance traveled fast, inspiring other species to seek similar arrangements. For the first time in eons, balance shifted within the universe. Humanity, once considered insignificant, rose to prominence, not through conquest, but through collaboration. Back home, cities transformed overnight. Skyscrapers gave way to sprawling gardens powered by clean energy harvested directly from sunlight. Wars ceased as resources became abundant, thanks to shared technologies. People learned to live harmoniously, cherishing diversity rather than fearing it. Even the aliens who once trembled at the sight of those towering star destroyers grew to admire Earth's resilience and adaptability. Together, united under the watchful eyes of the Guardians, they forged a future brighter than anyone could have imagined. And though challenges lay ahead, hope burned eternal in the hearts of all who dared dream of a better tomorrow. The aliens watching from their scout ship were frozen in a mix of awe and terror. Their glowing eyes darted between the massive star destroyers hovering above Earth and the holographic screens displaying data that made no sense. The energy readings, pulsating from those ships, defied every known law of physics. It was as if the universe itself had bent to accommodate their presence. For hours, the crew debated what to do next: retreat, attack, or try to communicate. None of these options felt safe. They knew their own civilization's technology paled in comparison to whatever power controlled those vessels. Every decision carried risks, but doing nothing wasn't an option either. Back on Earth, life continued as usual for most people. Farmers tilled fields, children played soccer in dusty streets, and office workers typed away at their desks. No, one noticed the colossal ships looming silently in the sky. Only a handful of scientists and government officials were aware of the situation, and even they struggled to make sense of it. Emergency meetings took place in secure underground bunkers, where generals argued over defense strategies, while physicists scribbled equations on whiteboards. Some suggested launching missiles at the ships, hoping to provoke a response, any response that might reveal their intentions. Others warned against such reckless actions, fearing retaliation could wipe out humanity in seconds. Dr. Elena Torres sat alone in her dimly lit lab, staring at the ancient symbols displayed on her computer screen. She had spent years studying artifacts buried beneath Egypt's sands, piecing together fragments of a forgotten language. Now, those same symbols appeared in the mysterious broadcast from the Star Destroyers. Her heart raced as she realized the implications. Could it be true? Had Earth once been visited by these beings, or others like them, long before recorded history? If so, why had they returned now? And what did they want? Elena decided to take a leap of faith. With trembling hands, she encoded a message using the archaic script and transmitted it into space. The signal was simple yet profound. "We hear you. We seek understanding." Then she waited, unsure if anyone or anything would respond. Hours passed, then days. Just when hope began to fade, the reply came. It wasn't just a voice. It was a presence, a consciousness that seemed to fill the room. The message was clear. "We are the Guardians. We have watched over your kind since time immemorial. You are not alone." The revelation sent shockwaves through Earth's leadership. Governments convened secret summits to discuss how to proceed. Publicly, they downplayed the event, releasing vague statements about unidentified aerial phenomena to avoid widespread panic. Privately, however, world leaders grappled with the enormity of what they had learned. If the Guardians truly existed, then humanity's place in the cosmos was far smaller and more fragile than anyone had imagined. Yet there was also a glimmer of hope. The Guardians offered protection, promising to shield Earth from external threats. In return, they asked for unity, a concept easier said than done given humanity's long history of division. As news trickled out, public opinion became divided. Some saw the Guardians as saviors, proof that higher powers existed to guide humanity toward peace. Others viewed them with suspicion, convinced their arrival signaled the beginning of an invasion or takeover. Conspiracy theories multiplied online, fueled by grainy photos of the Star Destroyers and amateur videos, claiming to capture strange lights descending from the sky. Protesters gathered outside government buildings, demanding transparency. Meanwhile, religious groups interpreted the event as divine intervention, organizing prayer vigils and sermons calling for repentance. Amidst the chaos, ordinary people found themselves grappling with existential questions. What did it mean to share the universe with beings so advanced? Were humans special, or merely insignificant specks in a vast cosmic tapestry? Families huddled around dinner tables discussing whether aliens would look like monsters or gods. Children drew pictures of starships and extraterrestrial creatures, their imaginations running wild. Even skeptics couldn't ignore the undeniable truth. Something extraordinary was happening, and it changed everything. For the alien observers, the unfolding events added another layer of complexity to their mission. They had come to study Earth expecting to find a primitive species struggling to survive. Instead, they discovered a planet teetering on the brink of transformation. The appearance of the Guardians had triggered a chain reaction, forcing humanity to confront its flaws and aspirations. Nations that had spent decades locked in conflict suddenly found reasons to cooperate. Scientists collaborated across borders, sharing knowledge in ways previously unimaginable. Artists created works inspired by the Star Destroyers, capturing both fear and wonder in paint and prose. Musicians composed symphonies celebrating unity, their melodies echoing in concert halls around the world. Yet not everyone welcomed the change. Powerful corporations resisted efforts to redistribute resources, fearing loss of profit. Authoritarian regimes cracked down on dissent, accusing protesters of spreading misinformation. Hackers launched cyber attacks targeting Guardian-related websites claiming to expose hidden agendas. Chaos simmered beneath the surface, threatening to boil over at any moment. Despite these challenges, progress continued. Cities transformed as clean energy projects replaced polluting factories. Schools introduced new curriculums focused on empathy and global citizenship. Social media platforms buzzed with stories of individuals overcoming prejudice and hatred. One day, representatives from various nations boarded shuttles provided by the Guardians, ascending into the Star Destroyers for a historic meeting. Inside, they marveled at technology beyond comprehension. Machines capable of healing wounds instantly, devices that translated thoughts into words, and engines harnessing the power of stars. Yet what struck them most was the demeanor of the Guardians themselves. These beings radiated calm and wisdom, treating each visitor with respect and patience. They listened intently as human delegates shared concerns about poverty, inequality, and environmental destruction. In turn, the Guardians offered solutions, emphasizing harmony between science and nature. Word of the meeting reached the alien fleet still lurking near Earth. Its leaders faced a critical decision. Should they flee, abandoning their mission and reporting failure to their superiors? Or should they attempt contact, risking exposure to forces far greater than themselves? After much deliberation, they chose the latter. An envoy departed from the main ship, cautiously approaching one of the smaller Guardian vessels orbiting Earth. When they arrived, they transmitted a message. "We mean no harm. We wish only to understand." To their astonishment, the Guardians responded warmly. Through telepathic communication, they explained their role as protectors of vulnerable civilizations. They reassured the aliens there was no need for fear unless aggression occurred. This encounter marked a turning point. Not just for Earth, but for countless worlds across the galaxy. News of humanity's alliance with the Guardians spread rapidly, inspiring other species to seek similar arrangements. For the first time in eons, balance shifted within the universe. Species that had once warred against each other now worked together, united by a shared vision of peace. On Earth, cities transformed overnight. Skyscrapers gave way to sprawling gardens powered by clean energy harvested directly from sunlight. Wars ceased as resources became abundant thanks to shared technologies. People learned to live harmoniously, cherishing diversity rather than fearing it. Even the aliens who once trembled at the sight of those towering star destroyers grew to admire Earth's resilience and adaptability. Together, united under the watchful eyes of the Guardians, they forged a future brighter than anyone could have imagined. And though challenges lay ahead, hope burned eternal in the hearts of all who dared dream of a better tomorrow. Meanwhile, Dr. Elena Torres stood atop a hill overlooking her hometown. The night sky shimmered with stars, and somewhere among them floated the Guardian ships. She smiled, knowing her discovery had sparked a revolution, not just for humanity but for the entire galaxy. As she gazed upward, she whispered softly, "Thank you." Somewhere deep within the cosmos, perhaps the Guardians heard her. The Guardians' arrival had set off a chain reaction that rippled across the globe. Cities buzzed with activity as governments scrambled to adapt to this new reality. Factories once churning out weapons and polluting machinery now produced clean energy devices based on blueprints shared by the Guardians. Entire industries transformed overnight, shifting focus from profit-driven motives to sustainability and cooperation. Farmers learned to grow crops using advanced hydroponic systems powered by sunlight captured directly from space. Rivers choked, with plastic waste began to clear as robots designed by the Guardians combed through waterways, purifying them molecule by molecule. For ordinary people, life became both easier and more complex. The sudden influx of alien technology brought incredible opportunities, but also raised questions about identity and purpose. What did it mean to be human in a world where machines could heal wounds instantly or translate thoughts into words? Some embraced the changes wholeheartedly, seeing them as a chance to build a better future. Others resisted fiercely, clinging to traditions they feared would vanish in the face of such rapid progress. Protests erupted in major cities, with crowds chanting slogans like "Keep Earth Human" and "No to Alien Control." Yet even among dissenters there was an undeniable sense of awe whenever they looked up at the Star Destroyers gliding silently above. Dr. Elena Torres found herself at the center of this whirlwind. After her initial breakthrough decoding the ancient symbols, she had become humanity's unofficial liaison to the Guardians. Her lab expanded into a sprawling research facility, funded jointly by multiple nations. Scientists from around the world flocked to work alongside her, eager to study the artifacts and technologies provided by their extraterrestrial benefactors. Despite her newfound fame, Elena remained humble, often reminding her team that their discoveries belonged not just to them, but to all of humanity. One evening, after hours spent analyzing data, Elena sat alone in her office staring at a holographic projection of the Star Destroyers. She couldn't shake the feeling that something pivotal was about to happen. Over the past few weeks, the Guardians had grown increasingly active, sending shuttles down to Earth almost daily. They conducted experiments in remote areas, studied ecosystems, and even interacted with local communities. Their presence was gentle yet authoritative, as if they were guiding humanity through a delicate transition without causing panic. That night, Elena received a message unlike any she'd encountered before. It wasn't a broadcast or a signal. It was personal. A glowing orb materialized in her office, hovering inches above her desk. Inside it, images flickered, scenes of Earth millions of years ago when dinosaurs roamed lush jungles, moments from ancient civilizations building pyramids and temples, flashes of modern cities bathed in neon lights. Then came a voice, not spoken aloud but resonating within her mind. "You are ready," it said simply. Before she could respond, the orb vanished, leaving behind a small, crystalline object pulsing faintly with light. Elena held the crystal gingerly, unsure what to do next. Instinct told her it was important, perhaps the key to unlocking another layer of the Guardian's secrets. She contacted her team immediately, and together they analyzed the artifact. Hours turned into days as they ran tests, examined its structure, and tried to decipher its purpose. Finally, one of her colleagues discovered something remarkable. The crystal contained coordinates leading to a location deep beneath the ocean floor. According to the data, it pointed to a hidden chamber untouched by time. Excitement spread quickly throughout the scientific community. With permission from global leaders, Elena assembled a team to explore the site. Using submersibles equipped with Guardian technology, they descended into the abyssal depths, navigating treacherous underwater trenches until they reached the designated spot. There, buried under layers of sediment, lay an entrance carved into solid rock. Glyphs identical to those found in Egyptian tombs adorned the walls, glowing softly as if awakened by their presence. Inside, they discovered a vast chamber filled with relics unlike anything seen before. Massive statues depicting humanoid figures stood guard, their faces serene yet imposing. Along the walls, intricate carvings told stories of a distant past when the Guardians first arrived on Earth. They described how these beings had intervened during times of crisis, preventing asteroid impacts, halting ice ages, and even eradicating plagues threatening early human populations. But most startling was the final mural, an image showing humans standing shoulder to shoulder with the Guardians, gazing toward the stars. News of the discovery sent shockwaves around the world. For many, it confirmed what they had long suspected, that humanity was part of something far greater than themselves. Conspiracy theorists claimed the chamber proved Earth had been colonized by aliens, while religious groups interpreted it as evidence of divine intervention. Regardless of differing opinions, one thing was clear. The Guardians weren't invaders or conquerors. They were protectors, entrusted with safeguarding humanity's evolution. Meanwhile, the alien fleet observing from afar grew restless, Their mission to observe and report had taken an unexpected turn. Instead of finding a primitive species struggling to survive, they had witnessed a civilization awakening to its potential. The Guardians' actions challenged everything they thought they knew about power dynamics in the universe. Could it be possible for strength and compassion to coexist? Was dominance truly necessary for survival? Their leaders convened an emergency meeting aboard the flagship. Holographic projections displayed footage of Earth's transformation. Cities blooming with greenery, nations cooperating instead of fighting, individuals striving to overcome prejudice and fear. One elder spoke up, his voice calm yet firm. "We came here seeking knowledge," he said, "but perhaps we have much to learn ourselves. These humans, flawed though they may be, possess qualities we lack: resilience, creativity, and hope." Inspired by this perspective, the aliens decided to take a bold step. They dispatched an envoy to meet with the Guardians, requesting permission to land on Earth. When their shuttle descended into the atmosphere, it caused widespread panic. People rushed to rooftops and streets, pointing skyward as the sleek craft hovered above major cities before touching down near the United Nations headquarters in New York. Representatives from various nations gathered nervously, unsure whether to welcome or defend against the visitors. To everyone's surprise, the encounter ended peacefully. Through telepathic communication, the aliens explained their initial fear stemmed from ignorance. They hadn't known Earth held ties to such formidable protectors. In turn, the Guardians reassured them there was no need for alarm unless aggression occurred. This exchange marked a turning point not just for Earth but for countless worlds across the galaxy. News of humanity's alliance with the Guardians spread rapidly, inspiring other species to seek similar arrangements. For the first time in eons, balance shifted within the universe. Species that had once warred against each other now worked together, united by a shared vision of peace. Back home, cities continued to transform. Skyscrapers gave way to sprawling gardens powered by clean energy harvested directly from sunlight. Wars ceased as resources became abundant thanks to shared technologies. People learned to live harmoniously, cherishing diversity rather than fearing it. Even the aliens who once trembled at the sight of those towering star destroyers grew to admire Earth's resilience and adaptability. Together, united under the watchful eyes of the Guardians, they forged a future brighter than anyone could have imagined. And though challenges lay ahead, hope burned eternal in the hearts of all who dared dream of a better tomorrow. As Dr. Elena Torres stood atop a hill overlooking her hometown, she felt a profound sense of gratitude. The night sky shimmered with stars, and somewhere among them floated the Guardian ships. She smiled, knowing her discovery had sparked a revolution, not just for humanity, but for the entire galaxy. As she gazed upward, she whispered softly, "Thank you." Somewhere deep within the cosmos, perhaps the Guardians heard her. The meeting between the alien envoy and the Guardians marked a pivotal moment in galactic history. For the first time, two vastly different species stood face to face, not as enemies but as curious equals. The aliens, with their translucent skin and glowing eyes, radiated nervousness despite their attempts to appear composed. Their leader, a tall figure with shimmering appendages that pulsed faintly, stepped forward hesitantly. Through telepathic communication facilitated by the Guardians, they explained their mission: to observe and catalog life forms on distant planets. They admitted their initial terror stemmed from ignorance. They had assumed Earth's sudden unveiling of advanced technology signaled hostility or conquest. The Guardians listened patiently, their towering forms exuding calm authority. When it was their turn to speak, their message was simple yet profound. "Fear arises from misunderstanding," one of them said, its voice resonating not just in minds but also in hearts. "We are here not to dominate but to protect. If you seek knowledge, we welcome your curiosity. If you bring aggression, we will respond accordingly." These words left the alien delegation speechless. Never before had they encountered beings so powerful, yet so willing to extend trust. Slowly, cautiously, they agreed to share information about their own civilization, hoping to foster mutual understanding. Back on Earth, news of the peaceful encounter spread like wildfire. Governments released official statements praising the outcome, while media outlets aired interviews with experts analyzing every detail. Social media platforms exploded with memes depicting cartoonish aliens shaking hands with guardians, accompanied by hashtags like Naus Galactic Peace and Alien Diplomacy. Yet beneath the surface celebration, tension simmered. Not everyone trusted the newcomers. Conspiracy theorists claimed the aliens were spies sent to gather intelligence for an impending invasion. Others accused world leaders of prioritizing extraterrestrial relations over pressing human issues like poverty and inequality. Despite these challenges, progress continued. Cities transformed at an astonishing pace. Skyscrapers gave way to vertical, gardens teeming with life, their walls covered in lush greenery irrigated by advanced hydroponic systems. Streets once clogged with traffic now hosted electric vehicles powered by clean energy, harvested directly from sunlight. Even rural areas benefited from Guardian technology, with farmers using drones equipped with sensors to monitor crops and optimize yields. Education systems adapted too, introducing curriculums focused on empathy, cooperation, and global citizenship. Children learned about the interconnectedness of all living things, inspired by stories of unity between humans, guardians, and even aliens. Dr. Elena Torres played a crucial role in this transformation. Her discovery of the ancient chamber beneath the ocean floor had unlocked new insights into humanity's relationship with the Guardians. Artifacts recovered from the site revealed intricate details about past interventions, how the Guardians had guided early civilizations through crises, leaving behind subtle clues encoded in art, architecture, and language. Elena worked tirelessly to decode these messages, collaborating with linguists, archaeologists, and scientists from around the world. Each breakthrough brought humanity closer to understanding its place in the cosmos. One evening, while examining a newly translated tablet, Elena stumbled upon something extraordinary. Hidden within the glyphs was a prophecy, or perhaps a warning. It spoke of a great convergence, a time when multiple species would unite under a shared vision of peace. According to the text, this event would mark the beginning of a new era, an age of enlightenment and exploration. But it also hinted at trials ahead, urging future generations to remain vigilant against forces seeking to exploit newfound harmony for selfish gain. Elena shared her findings with the Guardians, who responded with quiet acknowledgement. They confirmed the prophecy's authenticity but offered no further explanation, leaving humanity to interpret its meaning. This ambiguity sparked intense debate among scholars and philosophers. Some viewed the Great Convergence as a call to action, urging humanity to embrace change and prepare for challenges yet unknown. Others saw it as a cautionary tale, warning against complacency in the face of rapid progress. Debates raged online and offline, with people passionately discussing what steps should be taken next. Meanwhile, the aliens' presence on Earth became more visible. After receiving permission from the Guardians, they established a temporary base near the United Nations headquarters. Their sleek, organic-looking structures blended seamlessly with the surrounding environment, designed to minimize environmental impact. Scientists from both sides exchanged knowledge freely, sharing advancements in medicine, engineering, and space travel. Medical researchers marveled at the aliens' ability to regenerate damaged tissue instantly, while engineers studied their propulsion systems capable of bending space-time itself. Public reactions varied widely. Some welcomed the aliens warmly, organizing cultural exchange programs and hosting events celebrating diversity. Families invited alien representatives into their homes, eager to learn about their customs and traditions. Language barriers dissolved quickly thanks to translation devices provided by the Guardians, allowing meaningful conversations to take place. Others remained suspicious, accusing the aliens of having ulterior motives. Protesters gathered outside the alien base, holding signs that read "Earth First" and "No Alien Agenda." Amidst this backdrop of cooperation and conflict, ordinary people found themselves grappling with profound questions about identity and purpose. What did it mean to be human in a universe filled with intelligent life? Was Earth destined to play a central role in shaping galactic destiny, or was it merely one small piece of a much larger puzzle? Artists explored these themes through music, literature, and visual art. Painters depicted scenes of starships soaring across vibrant nebulae, while musicians composed symphonies blending traditional instruments with alien harmonics. Writers penned novels imagining futures where humans and aliens coexisted peacefully or clashed violently. For Dr. Elena Torres, the weight of responsibility grew heavier with each passing day. She often found herself reflecting on how far humanity had come since the appearance of the Star Destroyers. From a divided, war-torn planet struggling to survive, Earth had evolved into a beacon of hope, a shining example of what could be achieved through unity and collaboration. Yet she couldn't shake the feeling that greater challenges lay ahead. The prophecy of the Great Convergence lingered in her mind, a reminder that peace required constant vigilance and effort. One night, unable to sleep, Elena decided to visit the ancient chamber beneath the ocean floor. Accompanied by a small team, she descended into the depths once again, marveling at how familiar the journey felt. Inside the chamber, the air seemed alive with energy, as if the relics themselves recognized her presence. As she stood before the mural depicting humans standing alongside guardians, gazing toward the stars, a strange sensation washed over her. It was as though the universe itself was whispering secrets only she could hear. Suddenly, the crystalline object she had discovered earlier began to glow brighter than ever before. Glyphs etched into its surface lit up, forming patterns that shifted and changed rapidly. Elena realized it wasn't just showing coordinates anymore. It was displaying a map leading not to another location on Earth, but to a distant star system. Her heart raced as she understood the implication. Humanity was being invited to venture beyond its home planet, to explore the cosmos alongside its newfound allies. Excited yet apprehensive, Elena contacted the Guardians immediately. Together they analyzed the map, confirming its accuracy and determining the destination. A habitable planet orbiting a binary star system located thousands of light-years away. The implications were staggering. If successful, this expedition would mark humanity's first step into interstellar travel, a monumental achievement made possible only through collaboration with the Guardians and the aliens. Preparations began swiftly. Engineers worked around the clock designing a spacecraft capable of surviving the journey, incorporating technology from all three species. Scientists developed protocols for interacting with potential extraterrestrial life forms, emphasizing respect and non-interference. Meanwhile, governments debated who should represent humanity on this historic mission. After much deliberation, they chose a diverse crew comprising astronauts, researchers, diplomats, and even artists, all united by a shared sense of purpose. As launch day approached, excitement reached fever pitch. Billions tuned in to watch live broadcasts of the spacecraft's construction, eagerly anticipating the moment when humanity would leave its cradle and embark on a journey into the unknown. For many, it symbolized not just exploration, but redemption, a chance to prove that even flawed beings could rise above their limitations and strive for greatness. On the eve of departure, Dr. Elena Torres stood beside the towering vessel, gazing upward at the Star Destroyers still hovering protectively above Earth. Tears welled in her eyes as she reflected on everything that had led to this moment. From decoding ancient symbols, to uncovering hidden chambers, from forging alliances with aliens to preparing for interstellar travel, every step had been part of a grand design, one she hadn't fully all. The day of the launch arrived and humanity held its collective breath. The spacecraft, named Unity, stood gleaming under the morning sun at a specially constructed spaceport near the equator. Its sleek design combined human ingenuity with Guardian technology and alien engineering, making it unlike any vessel ever built. Massive thrusters capable of bending space-time lined its base, while shimmering energy shields protected its hull. Inside, advanced life support systems ensured the crew's safety during the long journey to the distant star system, revealed by Elena's crystalline map. Crowds gathered from all corners of the globe to witness the historic event. Families clutched, banners bearing messages of hope. Children waved flags representing every nation on earth, and priests offered prayers in dozens of languages. On massive screens erected around the site, live feeds showed the faces of billions watching remotely. Some, awestruck, others tearful, all united in anticipation. For the first time in history, humanity felt truly connected, not just to itself but to something far greater. As the countdown began, the crew of Unity exchanged final words with loved ones. Dr. Elena Torres, who had been chosen as part of the diplomatic team due to her pivotal role in decoding the Guardian's secrets, spoke briefly with her mother over a secure video link. "I'll come back," she promised, though both women knew there were no guarantees. Her mother nodded, smiling through tears. "Make us proud," she said simply. At T-10 seconds, silence fell across the crowd. When the clock hit 0, the ground trembled as the engines roared to life. A blinding column of light shot skyward, propelling Unity into orbit faster than any rocket before it. Within minutes, the ship disappeared from view, leaving behind only a faint trail of ionized particles glowing softly against the blue sky. Cheers erupted worldwide, echoing into the heavens themselves. Inside Unity, the crew worked diligently to stabilize their trajectory. Each member brought unique skills to the mission. Astronauts trained for years in simulated environments, scientists specializing in xenobiology and astrophysics, diplomats fluent in multiple languages, including those spoken by the aliens, and artists tasked with documenting the journey in ways science alone could not capture. Together, they formed a microcosm of humanity, a small group carrying the hopes of an entire planet. The voyage would take months, even with the advanced propulsion system shortening the distance significantly. During this time, the crew relied heavily on artificial intelligence designed collaboratively by humans, Guardians, and aliens. This AI, nicknamed Harmonia, managed navigation, monitored vital signs, and provided companionship during moments of solitude. It also acted as a translator, ensuring seamless communication between species. Despite these conveniences, tensions occasionally flared among the crew. Confined spaces, cultural differences, and the enormity of their mission weighed heavily on everyone. But each conflict was resolved quickly, thanks to lessons learned from Earth's recent transformation. Cooperation always trumped division. Months passed, and finally, Unity approached its destination, a binary star system bathed in golden red light. Orbiting one of the stars was a lush green planet teeming with life. From orbit, it looked remarkably similar to Earth, with sprawling forests, vast oceans, and swirling cloud formations. Sensors detected signs of intelligent civilization, structures dotting the surface, energy signatures reminiscent of early human cities, and faint radio transmissions hinting at rudimentary communication. The crew prepared carefully for descent, knowing their arrival could either inspire peace or provoke fear. Using cloaking technology provided by the Guardians, they landed undetected in a remote area outside the largest settlement. Disembarking cautiously, they marveled at the alien landscape. Trees stretched impossibly tall, their leaves shimmering like glass. Rivers flowed with water so clear it seemed invisible, reflecting the twin suns above. In the distance, strange creatures grazed peacefully, their forms blending harmoniously with the environment. It didn't take long for the locals to notice the newcomers. A delegation approached warily, armed with primitive weapons yet radiating curiosity rather than hostility. Through Harmonia, the crew initiated contact, explaining their peaceful intentions. The locals listened intently, their expressions shifting from suspicion to awe as they realized these visitors came not to conquer but to learn. Communication proved challenging initially, but patience and goodwill bridged the gap. Over weeks, the two groups exchanged knowledge and experiences. The local civilization, which called itself the Valons, shared stories of their own struggles and triumphs. They spoke of ancient conflicts that nearly destroyed their world, followed by centuries of rebuilding guided by principles of harmony with nature. In turn, the humans recounted Earth's journey, from chaos and division to unity under the Guardians' protection. Both sides recognized parallels in their histories, forging bonds deeper than language or biology could explain. During their stay, the crew discovered something extraordinary, remnants of another Guardian outpost buried beneath the planet's surface. Like the chamber beneath Earth's ocean floor, this site contained artifacts and murals detailing past interventions. One carving depicted the Valens standing alongside Guardians, gazing toward the stars, a mirror image of the mural Elena had seen on Earth. Clearly, the Guardians had played a role in shaping multiple civilizations, guiding them toward paths of peace and progress. This revelation sparked intense discussions among the crew. Was the Great Convergence mentioned in the prophecy already underway? Were Earth and the Valen homeworld merely the beginning of a larger movement uniting species across the galaxy? These questions lingered unanswered, but one thing became clear. Humanity was part of something far greater than itself. Eventually, the time came for unity to return home. Saying goodbye to the Valens proved difficult. Friendships had formed, trust had been earned, and mutual respect had blossomed. Yet both sides understood the importance of sharing what they had learned. Before departing, the crew left behind gifts, books filled with human art and literature, recordings of music composed specifically for the occasion, and seeds of earth plants adapted to thrive in alien soil. In return, the Valens gifted intricate carvings depicting scenes of their culture, along with samples of their native flora and fauna. The journey back to Earth felt shorter somehow. Perhaps because the crew carried more than just data, they carried hope. When Unity re-entered Earth's atmosphere, the entire planet erupted in celebration. Cities lit up with fireworks, stadiums hosted concerts attended by millions, and social media overflowed with messages of gratitude and pride. Humanity had taken its first step into the cosmos, not as conquerors but as explorers eager to connect with others. Dr. Elena Torres addressed the world from a stage set up near the spaceport. Behind her, holographic projections displayed images of the Valen homeworld and its people, capturing hearts with their beauty and resilience. Today, she began, her voice steady yet emotional. We stand united not just as humans but as citizens of the universe. We have proven that even flawed beings can rise above their limitations when guided by courage and compassion. Our journey is far from over, but we now know we are not alone. Her words resonated deeply, igniting a wave of optimism that swept across the globe. Inspired by the success of Unity, nations accelerated efforts to build more ships capable of interstellar travel. Scientists collaborated with the Guardians and aliens to develop sustainable technologies for future missions. Artists created masterpieces celebrating humanity's newfound place among the stars, while philosophers pondered the implications of being part of a galactic community. Years later, historians would look back on this era as the dawn of a new age, an age defined not by conquest or competition but by cooperation and curiosity. Humanity had faced its fears, embraced change, and stepped boldly into the unknown. And though challenges undoubtedly lay ahead, one truth remained unwavering. Together, united by courage and vision, anything was possible. As Dr. Elena Torres gazed upward at the star destroyers still watching protectively over Earth, she smiled softly. Somewhere deep within the cosmos, the Guardians, and perhaps the universe itself, were listening. Whatever came next, humanity was ready.